Good morning, everyone. Eric Rogers here with Julie Rowe, National Sales Director, and we made it to Friday. How did we do with our goals? You know, I start this every presentation. You got to hit those goals. We're at Friday. You still have a couple days left. Okay, so make sure you're getting those in. Gary Thrine, our military. I'm wearing red today. You know, Julie wore red yesterday.
Yeah.
I told her wear the same shirt next day. So this is something
Pink
that
as close as I could get to red. So
you got it. You got it. Well, and guys, we have a good one for you today. We've got a regional account manager in an area and who's recruited just like you, just started, and he's going to give us some tips, some things that are working for him, kind of how he goes about his day. And his name is Greg Rios. You can see the screen here. They named the Olympics after one of our regional account managers, Greg. I didn't realize you were that big.
because he's an Olympian.
Yeah, you've got your own island there, it looks like. So without further ado, I want Julie Rowe to introduce him, but give me 1 second. Tuesday's webinar is called Street Smart. It's going to be 7 o'clock in the evening, and you're going to get a perspective from a restaurateur who's owned a restaurant for over 20 years and has seen us come walking in going, hey, we can save you money, we can do it. He's seen it all. So you're going to get a perspective from a merchant, and that is in the evening. This is going to be interactive. It's going to be very low-key. Make sure you're asking your questions. Make sure that you are attending this. I tell you what, I know, Julie, how many of your Rams are in, do you think? We've got over 75 attendees already that have confirmed.
Yeah, I don't have the total on how many I've told, but
Mm.
I've been telling people with the link. The link to sign up is actually in the training module, so you can just go in there and click on the street, what is Streetwise, or what is it, Street Talk?
Street Smart.
Street Smart.
Smart like you. Yes.
Right.
So
Q&A. So make sure if you didn't register, go ahead and register there, because you don't want to miss it. They are giving away raffle cash prizes, correct?
Yeah, for an attendee, one lucky attendee, we're paying you to be there, to get trained, to learn how to increase your business, and we're going to raffle off. So you've got to attend, you've got to be there at the end, you know, kind of like everything else. But what you want to do is go right here. Let me go ahead and pull this up for everybody, and give me 1 second to do this, because this is very important. We want to get this number up because, guys, I know that if you attend this, come Wednesday, you're going to be able to pull off new statements for us. Get those to your national sales director and get them going. So go to your live training tab. This is merchantcareers.com. Scroll down past our weekly presentations, and then you've got special events. And this one is called Street Smart. You'll see it's the second one here. I've got my cursor on it, kind of grade highlighted that thing out. And guys, this is going to be outstanding. If you've not, and I know our national sales directors, myself, I've sent a text message to all of you saying, here's the link. Make sure you register. It's only going to help you. 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard. That's 4 o'clock on the West Coast. It will be recorded. Okay, so hey, if something comes up, you're not going to win the raffle. You're not making that money. Yeah, so.
Well, I know that, I apologize for to interrupt you there, but I know Greg's at work and he took some time out, so we don't have a lot of time with Greg, but we do appreciate you coming on, Greg. This is Greg Rios. He started about 2 weeks ago. I think he told me yesterday it was 2 weeks, and I was going to just give you a little bit of stats and introduce him. But Greg, can you hear me?
Greg, you there? Oh, you know what? Let me do this while I'm goofing off. I think I muted him just for a second. There we go. Greg, yes.
Hi, Greg. Sorry about that.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I was just talking about how you just started, and I wanted to throw some stats out there for people and then ask you a few questions. But first off, Greg started about 2 weeks ago, yesterday, and he submitted 8 statements, and he has 3 signed apps. That's one of the reasons I wanted him to come on board and just kind of share what he's doing. So, Greg, I'm just going to ask you a few questions. I know you're on a time limit here. Can you tell us about your approach when you approach a merchant?
Sure. Well, let me just give it right back to you, Julie. I definitely couldn't have done this without Julie's help. I mean, she's been nothing but wonderful, and I really appreciate her partnership and all she's done for me uh, to be where I'm at now. So I want to give Julie, two thumbs up. Okay.
Nice.
And
Thank you.
basically, so what I do is, guys, you have to just keep it simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I try to get my mind straight. I go over scriptures. I say out loud my affirmations, and basically I join a Darren Hardy daily mentoring program, which you guys can sign up for, and it's free. It's www.darrendaly.com. And just to get your mind straight for the morning when you first wake up, prepare yourself for the day. I look at myself in the mirror every day and I say, "Hello, boss," because you know what? That's how you have to approach this how you have to approach this. It's just as you own it. This is yours. This is your own company, and you got to work hard and just go out there and just keep it simple, be genuine. I know there's some scripts that's provided for you guys, but don't go exactly off the script. Be more of yourself. Be yourself, because people will read and see that you're kind of like nervous, or it's not you. You got to be, when you approach a merchant, just be yourself. Just keep it simple.
That's outstanding. We actually have a couple Rams that listen to Darren daily. That's interesting that you mentioned that, and some of our other regional account managers, who I know are producing as well, do a pretty good job. So I'm going to go ahead and get this up. Go ahead and I know Julie has a couple things for you this morning. That's awesome.
Well, when I was telling people, that you were doing really great, Greg, and I really don't know what you're doing to, kind of separate yourself and be so, good at getting the the statements, and then getting the proposal, and then getting the application signed. So we were curious, are these people, all these people that you got statements from, are they all somebody you know?
Yeah, some of them I do know. I would say about 2 of them I know, but I don't accept no as an answer. That's the thing.
I love it.
I refuse to say, I refuse. I have a rebuttal. I have a response for everything they throw at me. Again, I know we have we have something great here. We can save the merchant a lot of money. So you just got to be confident on what you're selling and what you're doing. And if they say they have no time for me, I'll be like, okay, so let me ask you something. $300, $400, it's not something to listen about. You have no time to accept $300, $400 in your pocket right now. Let's say I was to give you $300, $400 a month. How would that sound? Or also, if the manager, I approach a merchant, a store, an establishment. I'm like, might I speak to the manager or the owner? Oh, they're not available, or they're not in. Might I help you? I'll be like, nah, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to help me out. I really need to speak to a manager or an owner. And they're like, well, actually, I am the manager. So right there, see, they're like, I caught them, So then I'll go ahead and, let them know who I am. Also, before I approach a merchant, I do some research. I go to manta.com. Sometimes you can find some business information on there, the name of the owner. Rather than going in there and asking, may I speak to a manager or the owner, at least you have the name of the person. So you go in there and it's, hi, may I speak to Mr. John, whoever it is. So I do some research as well. Just gotta keep it simple, guys. Just go in there. You have to just be yourself. Just talk to them as they're your buddy. As if you've been going to that specific restaurant, or in my case, some bowling centers, and just approach it in a put a smile in your eyes. When you go in there, just be enthusiastic. If you see something that you can relate to, or say, oh, like for example, oh, that's a nice, that's a great picture of your kids. How old are they? Something to get the conversation going.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Greg, real quick, what website do you go to research your companies, or are you just looking up Google and going to the company website?
Manta.
Manta? Okay,
Man,
perfect. Yep.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's see.
I'm not a guy. I don't. You have to have confidence. I mean, sometimes I do get nervous, but you have to fight that, And sometimes I feel like sometimes I have a tendency to speak so quick, and that prevents me from sometimes expressing what I want to express. So I have to sometimes slow it down. So you got to go in there, you know, don't be afraid to fail, I once had a guy when I used to do sales for a roofing and siding company, and he sat down with me. He's like, Greg, why are you so nervous? If you're confident on what you're selling, just be yourself. Just tell me what you got. Go over everything, and just that's it. So that's all I can say.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, look, I've got a question. How are you using your national sales directors? Because we've got maybe some regional account managers that just don't know, how the national sales director can really help them. Maybe a sales associate needs to hear this for the extra help. How are you utilizing Julie to help you get 8 statements into your first 2 weeks? That's awesome.
Well, any questions I may have. Obviously, I'm only been in the business for 2 weeks, so I don't know everything. And if they come at me with something, for example, I had a merchant say they have X charge. I'm like, I don't know what X charge is, So I will contact Julie, and Julie would then we'll go on a 3-way, and Julie will explain to them that if we can help them out or not, even though they have X charge, Or if a merchant is very adamant that there's no way we can save the money, I was like, well, you know what? I'm still new to this business. Maybe I don't have all the answers for you, but do you have a couple minutes where I can call my national sales director and she can probably answer some of your questions, So that's how,
So it sounds like hey, Greg?
Yes.
Are you there, buddy? Hang on
I
one
am.
second.
Can you hear me?
I don't want to lose him. Greg, go ahead and let me hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're back. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. I'm not sure what you heard or not.
Then we just heard a noise, but you weren't. It seemed like you weren't there for a second, but you're back. And so, I want to kind of point out with me and Greg, we do text a lot. So when he needed a question about a software, he just sent me a text. I did the research. I texted him back. I've actually helped him because he does work full time. I've called the merchant and filled out the application with them over the phone because, he's working. So, just wanted to point out that, if you're not utilizing the tools, with working with your national sales director, you need to do that because we will do that for you. We will get on the phone with your merchant and yourself or call them directly.
Yep. And John Wolf says, quit trying to hide. They see you.
Wait.
Yeah.
We can't. Hey guys, we can't be as bad as the acting you guys did. So.
Hey. See, we keep our day jobs, right, Greg? I appreciate that. That's awesome. So, guys, just to point out and highlight what Greg has mentioned is he's using his national sales director, Julie, to further his education because, guys, if you notice, Greg's not going to wait till he goes through all the videos and wait until he feels comfortable. When you really learn when you're actually out there. That's how you learn. Baptism by fire. Here we go. So use your national. We're here to help you along the way. Those first 5 to 7 merchants that you will sign up. We know you all can do this. So, Greg, you're doing a great job by using the national sales director and what's available to you. So, thank you. Yeah, good question.
All right. I just want to tell you, Greg got a really big account with a tire company. Just to give you guys some ideas what merchants he's approaching, he just signed up a bowling alley, and he got a real prominent hair salon. So those are just examples of the ones that he's actually got the application signed, and it's a real good start for just 2 weeks. Greg, I know you got to go back to work, and I really appreciate you coming on here. I just kind of want to ask you this last question. What tips can you give a new RAM that has just started, like today?
Well, I would say definitely go through the first couple modules, write down as much notes as possible. But just like Eric said, just, you know what, just go out there, baptism by fire, you know, just go sell yourself, go sell the business, the company, let them know you'll be able to save them a lot of money, and just keep going over there and not be afraid to fail. I mean, seriously, just go out there and do what you have to do. If you fail, you know what? It doesn't mean it's the last time you can go and approach that merchant. Go back in 2 weeks. You know, maybe you refine your approach, and or maybe the merchant wasn't in their best moods, you know, when you first approached them. So it doesn't hurt to go back a couple of weeks later, you know. But I would say definitely follow up, and don't let one no stop you from going back and approaching that merchant again. I mean, you got to keep approaching them. Let them be tired of seeing your face, you know. After that statement, that's it. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you have anything else for him?
We say the fortune is in the follow-up, and, you know, Eric just pulled up the sales statistic, and, you know, it does take that. Sometimes it takes that follow-up, and, you know, 80% of sales are made on the 12th contact. I've got several regional account managers that took that time to visit that specific merchant, and they literally went that 12th time before they got that application signed. So definitely listen to what Greg's saying. It is, the fortune is in the follow-up.
I can say one more thing too, is that try to find out what time they open up. You normally don't want to try to get there first as soon as they open up, because, you know, it's early in the morning. Not a lot of people are morning people, and they may be busy. So I would try to approach, you know, if they open up at 7 o'clock, I'll probably approach them around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you know. I just feel that they seem to be in better mood after a couple of hours, you know, getting to the office.
Yeah, they've had their coffee. They're ready.
Yeah. Well, Greg, we had a couple, I don't know what you're doing on time. We had a couple questions from other regional account managers. You got a minute to answer a couple? Okay.
Sure.
So one of Dana's asking, what supplies do you take in with you, if any?
Well, when I first started, to be honest with you, I went in without any supplies. I went in there and I said, listen, I just started with this new company. You know, I told them a little bit about it. I said, unfortunately, you know, I'm still waiting on my brochures to come in and my business card. But you know what? I'm so excited about this company, and I'm so excited about getting money that I couldn't wait for the brochures or my business cards to come in. You know, so that's what I use. But now going forward, you know, I have my shirt, my business cards, and a couple of flyers that I give them, you know. But to be honest with you, they're not even looking at the flyer, at the brochure. They're just listening to you, you know. You have to kind of sell it, you know. The brochure is there to kind of edify, you know, and give them the information, but you have to sell the business, the opportunity.
Great, that's outstanding. So guys, no excuses. Right? The business owner, when you get an audience with a business owner, it's you, you know, and this statement that you see on your screen is pretty dead on. That's a pretty good one.
Somebody asked if you were using your tablet on any of the when you go in. Is Greg using the tablet to show any demos? Are you using the tablet?
I just got the tablet this week, so I wasn't using the tablet. I was actually just using my phone to scan things, you know. And I mean, it doesn't hurt to use a tablet because you can obviously see the information, you know, a lot better because it's a 10-inch tablet, which is beautiful. But you know, I just use my phone. That's all. That's all I use.
Yeah.
And
so
you know, the other thing I want to say is that try not to give away the proposal. If they ask for it, just let them know. It's unfortunately. It's you know, it's proprietary. I can't print it out. It will not allow me to print it. But you will get the information. You know, after you fill out the application. But I try not to.
Information's on the application. That's correct.
Yeah, and that's a great thing to do, folks. When you get your first proposal or first two or whatever, and I'm getting people saying, "Are you cold calling? Are you walking into the stores? Are you using the telephone?" You know, face to face is the best. Again, get creative with what you're doing. You know, he's leveraging his current network of people that he knows too, in addition to going ahead and saying, well, if I don't know everybody on the planet, then I'm going to go ahead and talk to some people.
Actually, he did tell us the answer to that. Out of the 8 statements, he only knew 2 of the people that he got the statements from. So he's doing both. He's doing the other question, are you calling for appointment, Greg, or are you cold calling? Walking in?
No, I'm not. I'm just walking in. I'm not really calling for appointments. I just feel, you know, it's kind of hard to get the right person when you call. And usually they'll say, well, at least from experience, they'll say, oh, they're not available or they're in a meeting. But if you walk in and if they're in front of you, they can't make that excuse, say they're not available because they're right there in front of you talking to you. So I try not to use the phone, you know. I mean, I do have plans. I'm using the phone to call some of these bigger accounts, you know, insurance companies, or even I know a manager at a Starbucks who provided me with some information from corporate. I'm not saying I'm going to get the account, but I'm going to try to use the phone or email to get them to at least, you know, schedule a meeting with us.
Right.
Yep, and then Dave Boyd has a question. Again, Dave, I think you're overthinking this. What type of contact program or apps are you using to keep track of who you called on, who you didn't? Are you handwriting some things down? Are you organized to where you're using the old school Excel spreadsheet? They're just interested in what's working for you. I love this. We're getting a lot of feedback, Greg. You're doing great.
Awesome. No, to be honest with you, you know, I actually asked them if they can refer me to someone or if they know anyone that can use my service. To be honest with you, I mean, just like when you first come on board, we're asked to jot down every person we know, every company that we go, business that we go to, establishments that we go to. I do reverse. I ask them, well, who do you know that can benefit from this, from saving money, that can benefit from this company? And then they tell me, you know, right now, for example, Atlantic Tires is going to refer me to 3 more companies. I just have one of the salons, who granted she's my cousin, but her trainer is going to, I'm expecting a phone call from her trainer today who can use the service. So there's no rapid funnel, any kind of rapid funnel or anything like that. No.
Okay. So as far as a database, you're just keeping track of where you have talked to these guys for your follow-up. Since you're 2 weeks into this, you're probably idea just offhand where it is. And then, but in answer to that, when you get your co-pilot, that's going to keep track of every single appointment that you have. When you get your co-pilot, you need to submit a statement before we issue that. But once you are issued your co-pilot credentials, that's going to keep a line. All you do is input the store and move to the next one, right? And it keeps track of everything for you. And then you can use an external, however you want to keep track of the hot leads, warm leads, etc.
Right.
That way.
I got one more question from, I guess actually, who is that? Holding back the proposal, Lisa. Well, I had explained, and I tell all my regional account managers, if you give that proposal, the hard copy, to the merchant, they can turn around and go to their current processor and, you know, get the rates reduced with it, because it's in writing what we're going to do for them. So I had explained that to Greg, and I told him, you know, some of my people don't even bring it with them. They just memorize the 3 savings, the percentage, the annual, and the 3-year. And Greg actually, he's the one that said he showed it to him on his phone, and it was proprietary, and he wasn't able to send it to them. So that's holding back the proposal. I hope that helps you, Lisa. And Greg, do you want to leave us with a final, anything that you want to tell us about what you're going to do and what your goals are?
I mean, you have to put, vision yourself where you're going to be at in 6 months to a year. Set a goal. Um, put together a vision board. Something that's got to motivate you to go out there, even on days where you feel a little sluggish. I mean, right now, this week in New Jersey, it's been very hot and humid. There are days like I'm sweating. I don't want, I just want to jump in my pool, but with my kids, but I choose not to because I have a goal, I have a vision. I see where I want to be at, where I'm going to be at in 6 months to a year. My goal right now is to at least try to get 100 accounts in 6 months. And if I don't get there, that's fine. But at least you have something to push you, to motivate you. Your why has to be really strong as to why you're doing this. You're not doing this just as another job. You're doing this because you want to better your life. You want to better the life of your family. And it's something that you can add to what you're doing if you are working full time. So you can add an additional income without actually taking a lot of time away from your family because they're working in retail with the crazy hours. So basically, go out there, just be yourself, just enjoy what you're doing. Don't take this as a job, but more as something you can enjoy and prosper from.
Great.
Awesome.
So, well, we really appreciate it. I know that you're at work still, so I'm going to actually cut this one short. I really appreciate you, Greg. It's a real pleasure to work with you. You're an inspiration. I hope that you've really inspired some people here today. I think you have. You did a really wonderful job, and we appreciate you coming on with us.
Thank you for having me, guys. Have a great day.
You too.
You got it. Boy, I tell you what, if you can't get fired up after listening to Greg and how, like I said, he's keeping it fun, but he's disciplined. He's not having business cards, not having flyers. What flyer do you lead with? It doesn't matter. He's leading with questions. He's leading with his attitude because he knows we wouldn't put $1,000 behind our mouth if we didn't give them the best rate. He is aware that a merchant needs to cut every corner they can in today's market, guys. Is it going to get better? Who knows, right? Business-wise. I'm seeing businesses all over the place here in Arizona empty, right? The little shopping plaza next to us where you go to Subway all the time, they're cleaning the place out. So, and this area is pretty decent. So guys, you are really helping them. He understands that. They see the enthusiasm. I tell everybody, hey, if you take Visa, MasterCard, Discovery, you need to talk to me. We have to talk. Trust me. You do not want to not talk to me. Oh, you have to talk to me. No, you don't. We will save you money. I'll show it to you line for line. Here you go. You need to talk to me. So again, guys, this is something. Yeah, Dana Marks, thank you. Greg, you rock. Lisa Hall, thank you. That makes sense. I'm going to stick around. And I know Julie's got work here to do today. I'm going to answer a few of the other questions that we have just because it's Friday. And guys, if you're taking time to be with us, we're going to help you out, okay? And again, Greg, holy cow, that was a good one.
Yes.
That was awesome. Yes.
That was really good.
Thank you for sharing his tips, what's working, and we do this every Friday.
All right, you
Julie.
guys, take care, everyone.
Yep.
Going back to work.
You got it. So what I want to do is get right back to, let me close some things so I don't lose my audio here. And I like this one. This is a new one right here. Your smile is your logo. Your personality is your business card. That's exactly what Greg's doing. Does he have a fancy computer in front of these business guys? No. He got 8 statements without it. You guys can get 2, right? And you follow up. Let me clarify this, the sales stats, before we go to some questions. Guys, once you have the proposal, this all goes out the door. Now it's a one-time close. Get in there. Oh, I need to think about it. Okay, I got you. And take the proposal with you. Think about that. And again, you've already led them into this. Greg, I'm sure you're doing this. Now you can, the way you present that proposal is, man, you were getting overcharged by your old lender by 13% every month. Do an aggregate. What is that a year? You're getting killed. Why would you even go back to them? That's the question. Common sense is a flower that doesn't grow in everyone's garden. We get that, right? So it looks like you found a new processor. Plus, I'm local. I'm a customer of yours. I refer people to your business. Does your current merchant do that? Not a shot. Right, guys? So you know how to take this. If you're close and even, there was a question here, how much money is he saving on these proposals? You know, like I said, we're going to make sure you're still making some money and that we're beating the rate by as much as we can to make that merchant zip over. A lot of, and let me find out who asked that question regarding the rates. Savings, Russ. Russ, if we only save him 3%, you still need to get that deal. You've got to get those. Think of football. Here we are in football. Remember Randy Moss? If we're even, if the defender is all over me, I'm still winning. If you only save a merchant 3%, you get that deal because you're the local rep. You are a customer. You refer business to him. Tell him, hey, I'm in the Chamber of Commerce. I do business networking groups all the time. Give me a handful of your cards and I'll bring them with me to my next meeting. How's a merchant not going to work with you? Okay, so just remember that it's not always about price. General Electric, GE, went with Card Connect, not because of price. Price was there. It was service. So keep that in mind, and that's how you set it up before the proposal even hits the door. Yeah, agreed. Broncos, here we go, Russ. You got it. I tell you, I used to live in Denver, boy. You guys, you know, the fans in each city, there's some good ones. Denver has some good ones. But you already won the title. Come on, man, spread it around. Arizona Cardinals, we're due. We're due. So, you know, let's go ahead and get back to Bev had a really good question. How do I know how to input a file into Copilot? So this is great. And again, it's all online. Bev can do this at on her time here and just watch a video. You know, that's how easy we made this. So let me go ahead and see if I can't pull this over. And it's in your RAM Mastermind training, and I'm seeing here that I think this website is locked up. So Bev, let me do this. It's actually in your RAM Mastermind training, or you can go to Copilot, your Copilot tab that you'll see, and it's there. Okay, so I've got a regular sales associate site up. They don't have everything that the RAMs do have. Okay, so Bev, get to your national sales director, and they'll point you in the right direction for where that video is on how to use Copilot. It's real simple. We've got a video, just follow that and you're good to go. Let's see. Darren, yeah, it's Darren Hardy, I believe, is the actual show. And we've got other folks that have listened to this guy every day. Let me get to some of the other questions that you had. John Wolf, I'm not familiar with a tablet. Can you post a video on how to use the tablet? And it's there. So go under your RAM Mastermind training. John, if you're a sales associate, that's not in play. Okay, you may want to think about moving up and taking your business to the next level and becoming a regional account manager. Okay, let me see. It says, I'm having trouble registering so I can sign people up. And Melinda, I want to make sure, Hyman, I'm not sure where you're signing up. So I want to make sure that you're talking to your national sales director, okay, your NSD, and get a hold of them today, okay? If you're having any trouble, you should be able to log in to your training site, merchantcareers.com. If you're referring to Copilot, your NSD can get that information, guys. Let's make this clear. Copilot, you get issued your sales code. Copilot is Card Connect. It's not First Direct Financial. That is a sales code that you are issued from Card Connect. All right, so that's a third, we're an ISO of them. So what's happening is we want to have merchant statements first. So there is no login if you're just getting started. You're emailing or faxing those merchant statements to your national sales directors. We mentioned this early. I want to make sure that we are looking at your first, say, 4 to 7 deals, just to make sure the paperwork's right. So when it goes to Card Connect, they're not looking at us like, man, you guys forgot everything. So make sure that you are getting with that national sales director first, Melinda, because I want to make sure, you know, there should be no lag time on you signing anybody up because you're sending it directly to your national sales director. Okay, so that should be should take care of that one pretty simply. Let's see, let's go to the bottom here. Russ, here's Russ again, are we able to process credit cards from the medical marijuana industry here in Colorado? And we do have an option, okay? That's something that's not really Card Connect's sweet spot for some of the obvious reasons, but yeah, you know, because there's banking issues there, obviously. So we do have some other options, but you want to make sure that you're contacting your national sales director, but get the merchant statements first. You know, if they're not processing right now, there may be a reason, because we will look at personal credit and things like that, Russ. So that's across the board. So they've got to be pretty tight on that application. Yeah, Melinda says you've not received a code or a welcome email. So you check your spam, because the welcome email is automated. So once your payment goes through, that's done. Okay, and if you're signing up as a free SA, it's still sent to you with your credentials to get in. So contact your recruiter, Melinda, the person who is, you know, talking to you to get you started. Contact your national sales recruiter, your NSR. Yep, definitely. So if you've got their number, get back with them so they can get it going. John Wolf, it says, I'm a RAM. What video shows you how to use the tablet? I believe I watched all of them. So it's Copilot is what you need to know how to use. The tablets, you use a tablet just like you use a computer, except you use your finger and tap, okay? So there is no difference, John, but go to your RAM Mastermind training. You're going to see how to use and utilize Cam Scanner. There's a video for that. And then go to your Copilot tab, and there is a nice PowerPoint that you can utilize too, and there's a PDF that walks you through it if you're more of you want to read it instead of watch it. Make sure you're pulling that up. Okay, let me see. Dana Marks says, if I have a friend with a new business that's probably going to do less than 5,000, but will probably grow, is it okay to go ahead and get them started? And Dana, absolutely. Contact your national sales director again for this specific scenario. But what we're going to do is just submit them if they do not have merchant statements. Square clients do not either. Square's so vanilla, they don't even get a statement. Okay, so with any breakdowns, everything's hidden. So what you do in this case is we present them, it's a 0.5% over interchange, 10 cents a transaction. We upload that into the file for you, and you're off and running. So what you would do in that case is just go ahead and get the 6-page application that you can find on your web page, and you're good to go. So that should be easy enough there as well. Let me try this though. I want to go back and back to admin, and let's go back in and see if I can't get the correct website instead of that one. Get the RAM website pulled up. So let's see if we can do something here. Drop down. There we go. All right, guys. So sometimes this computer is being a little finicky today. You can see even one of the videos is not pulling up. So anyway, what you've got here is your website. So you've got your Copilot training. How do I use Copilot? How do I put in a statement? It's all done here. And again, these videos are here for you to watch. Okay, so I know we had a guy in here putting an antivirus thing on here. I think he just crashed all of our videos. Live training. Okay. This is where you go. Let me explain this. There was a question on Saturday. We are now doing those on Tuesday. Nobody wanted to come and be on there with us on Saturday, which is good for us, so we didn't have to work 6 days a week, right? 5's enough. So yeah, just go ahead and you can get in here and actually register for the recording. So if you did not see the Saturday recording, make sure you're going in and doing that. Now when you go to register for Saturday, it's going to tell you it's Tuesday. Okay, so that is correct. I believe we had a RAM that was confused a little bit. It is confusing. We did one Saturday presentation. The rest of these are going to be on Tuesday evenings. Okay, and guys, just to wrap this up, Street Smart Q&A right here at the bottom. Be on that. That's August 16th. That's this coming Tuesday. Make sure you're on this. It is interactive all the way. And guess what? It's not just one person working the questions or the chat box. We're going to have all the national sales directors there, and we're going to pull out some of these questions like you're giving us today and highlighting them. So you get to hear what other regional account managers want to cover, kind of what we're doing now, except we're going to have about 6 of us that are handling all of your questions. All of your questions, okay? Now, obviously, don't wait till Tuesday. If you've got a question, contact your NSD now. Contacting them now. They'll get to that question for you. And guys, there's one more question that maybe the rest of you should hear before I let you go. And let me find that because, let me see. Yeah, and Melinda, yep, your national sales director will help you with basically your first 4 to 7 signups. We want to make sure you're doing that paperwork all right. Russ, thank you very much. Let me see. Dave Boyd it says, is the interchange rate like a prime lending rate that's set and cannot be manipulated? Okay, so it sounds like an old mortgage guy. I had my mortgage banking license, and that was the best thing ever that everybody had to get licensed. So, Dave, you're talking my language, right? So the interchange rate is cost. That is what Visa, MasterCard charges for them to use that industry type. If you're an automotive repair guy, you've got a different interchange SIC code or MCC code, so that cannot be manipulated. But you're absolutely right. None of us make money on the interchange. But the thing is we've got these guys out there doing a 1 rate, and they hide the interchange in there, and you wouldn't believe the profit that they're making, and it's not in the best interest of that merchant. It is simple. Simple, Simon. If you can understand it, you're comfortable, you move forward. Interchange, just think of it this way. The profit is 0.5%. That's what you all will make. You get a piece of that every transaction. If they do $100, you're making money on that $100 charge on the 0.5%, not the interchange or the cost. Okay, and we do a really nice presentation on Tuesdays. Let me show you on the screen. You may want to come in here and check one of these out. For example, next Tuesday at noon, we'll cover interchange pricing, okay? And Dave, you did understand that correctly. But there was also one other, on average, what does Square cost? I can tell you that exactly. There's no average. It's 2.75 regardless of what the transaction is. And in that last example, John Wolf, with us, it's 0.5% plus our 0.5% over interchange. It's actually 0.55% is what all debit cards are. With us, with Square, it's 2.75. They are getting crushed. It's a good training wheel starter business. Anything 5,000 and under, they could have it. You guys want 10 grand and up. Time management, is that going to be worth your time on a residual basis? You bet. But if we've got a regional account manager who says, listen, the business is going to grow, I can get referrals, do them. Okay? It's up to you. You run your own ship. It's your own business. Okay? Yeah, and it's 3.5%, Matt Nichols, if it's keyed. Absolutely. Swiped is 2.75. So it's not even close. Let me see. And then, Russ, we got to yours regarding the that industry, medical marijuana. Make sure you get the statements. Okay? Go ahead and get those statements right now, and we'll find a home for it. Let me see. What is the site with the business information? That's manta.com. And we'll finish up here. So the RAM, the regional account manager that worked with us today, that was spotlighted, Greg Rios, and that's what the Olympics are named after, is the regional account manager. His last name is Rios. They just took the S off. He does some research before he walks in on a cold call. If he's cold calling, right here. It's called manta.com, and it will basically can give you the owner's name. You can get some phone numbers, emails if you want to do a cold email. I'm not a fan at all of email mass spamming. Get in there and talk to them. Let them see you. Let them see Joe Rivard, Jerry Watson, John Wolf. They need to see you because Isaac Ned, you're a big part of this equation. They're buying you. Remember, if we only save 3 to 5% on a proposal, you guys all should be getting those. You should get every single one of those because you're a part of the equation. You're the customer retention. And remember, this is residual income. This is totally different than sales, okay, in the fact that you get paid once and that's it. This is residual. In other words, you get that customer, they're going to be paying you every card that's swiped through that business, you're going to get a piece of month after month after month. That's the goal. Remember why you're here. If you ever get discouraged, you ever feel down, make sure you remember why you're here. It's a beautiful thing having $5 grand coming in every month because of the effort you did for that 3 to 4 months is not fun. $5 grand a month is fun. 6 grand, 500. What if you're getting will $500 make a difference to you every month if that was on top of what you're doing now, right? Some of you, I know most of you are actually, kind of part-time, kind of, working your way into it, that type of thing. Go all in. Pat Riley said it the best, with commitment. You're either in or you're out. There is no halfway, right? Go for it. We've got the vehicle set up. Our business model is awesome. No one does it this way. We pay you full commissions regardless of your production. How do you like that? No one does that. You get that. So guys, go get them. I know we've gone over here, but you had so many questions today. Love it. And if you want to continue this, make sure Tuesday, let's get this up. I didn't know Matt was on here. He's actually going to be on here. Guy, he's going to give you the perspective of what a merchant is looking at. How valuable is that for us to get somebody online that knows both sides of the business? Okay, so make sure too, if you've not done it, please, we're even going to raffle off cash for those in attendance that stay the whole presentation. We're going to pay somebody. I mean, you guys, we're doing everything we can. You still have to make the first step and go out and get it. All right, this is Eric Rogers here with Merchant Careers First Direct Financial. We're going to stop the recording now. This will be posted. Thank you very much.